Metropolitan Archbishop William Skurla of the Byzantine Catholic Church in the United States and Canada will be a voting member of the Synod. He joins us now to provide more insight on the impact of the Eastern Catholic Churches in this upcoming meeting in the Vatican. Thank you so much for joining us, Archbishop. What does synodality mean to you and your church, and how does it affect how you govern yourselves, since Eastern Rite Churches use a synodal model?
Well, as Bishop Montse mentioned, each of the different levels of churches, and we're a particular church within community with Rome, but our structure would be a metropolitan church. And as the Metropolitan Archbishop, I'm the head of our particular church in the United States and Canada. And it means that we gather together, 4 times a year to make decisions, and each bishop within the we would not call it a synod, but we would call it the Council of Hierarchs. It has a vote in kind of directing the affairs of the churches in the United States and Canada.
So that's very practical, which is great. Who gets to attend then these councils? I know that we're having some discussions around lay people and women. Who actually gets to attend?
The Council of Hierarch meetings are one level of synodality, and that's mostly just for the bishops and any people that we need to have come in to make reports and have usually a secretary to take notes for that. On the level of laity and religious and clergy, we would have the assemblies, and those are both within the Metropolitan Church and also at the eparchial or diocesan level. And for those meetings, the archbishops, bishops, clergy, religious and laity all attend, and they all have voice at the meeting.
And in attending and in having a voice at the meeting, do they have votes that are available to them, or is this just a listening session where reports are read and recommendations are taken?
I think for the most part, it depends on the particular nature of the meeting. Some are more informational, and some are more to come to a decision on important issues. And on those, usually they do take a vote and to take a poll as to see what the bishops and then also the clergy, religious and laity think. And as with the synod, within any of the Catholic churches, the ultimate authority relies in the head of the church. And the larger Catholic church, that would be the Pope, and in the metropolitan level, it would be myself, and kind of guiding those votes.
Okay, so there is guidance from the hierarchy.
Yeah.
And then, I'm interested in this just because it's moving so quickly within the Catholic Church. In this synodal, the Synod on Synodality really is this listening moment that has made its way through the parishes and now all the way up to Rome, with this gathering starting in a couple of weeks. And for us, it is different to think about laity voting. What is the impact of those votes for your church?
For us, it does give us kind of when we decide to set policy within our particular church, either in terms of the liturgy or different administrative things that we have, it does kind of becomes binding, for the different bishops and clergy and laity within the Metropolitan Church. And at the Synod, in the past synods this will be my 3rd synod that I'm attending as the Metropolitan Archbishop. I did the preparations for another one. And each time that we gather, the laity do have a voice at the meeting. They do make presentations. And the difference is that they'll have a vote. But even that vote is consultative to the Holy Father. And, he can listen to or amend what he wants out of the final document of the synod.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense to us. So then what have you seen over time in attending these synods? Has the Latin Church adopted this way of being synodal, and is this a radical move, or has this progressively happened over time with the synod since the Second Vatican Council?
I think they have been present, and not only for the lay people, and I think Bishop Montse mentioned that other Eastern churches do attend, and the Orthodox do attend the meetings, and the last couple I've sat next to the representative from the Russian Orthodox Church, and they do listen to what they say, and it does influence the form of the document that's given to the Holy Father.
And Archbishop, then understanding that these gatherings do have input on church governance, and that does land on Pope Francis's desk, what do you hope that the Latin Church will learn from the Eastern Catholics?
Well, to realize it is a serious process and that all the voices are heard. And as you mentioned in kind of the changing of the age limits for the patriarchs and for bishops within the Eastern churches, the Holy Father does take those recommendations and uses it to apply to future changes in policy for all the Catholic churches, and also for the rules and regulations that affect individual particular churches in the Eastern Catholic Communion.
I have one last question for you, and it's mostly about the fears of people who are watching the synodal process and don't understand it. They're big fears around whether church teaching will be changed on marriage or on human sexuality or on the diaconate and women. Are those fears well-founded, or is this something that has been brought up in Eastern synods where you would say, yes, we've done this before and we want to teach you how to do this, or no, this is really about bringing people together within the orthodoxy of what we understand church teaching and the truth really is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in our particular case, we're a church in the United States, so we have the extremes from one end of the spectrum to the other, and you have to make a decision somewhere along the line. And as Bishop Mansour had mentioned, you have to have somebody that ultimately says yes or no to which direction the church takes. And that is the process. The synodal process is consultative. It takes a wide range from the far right to the far left and brings them together, not only from just the Roman Catholic Church, but from all the Eastern churches and also the Orthodox and Protestant denominations that come to the Synod and have a presentation and voice at the Synod also. And it's a process that, it's left up to the wisdom of the Holy Father and guided not by just what, the Pope wishes to do, but it's guided by our traditions in the Catholic magisterium and in tradition that goes back to the divine revelation of Christ, and that's what we try to do, and we hope to mirror that through and more faithfully respond to what the Lord is calling us to do. And just for everybody that's worried about it, just to pray and to pray that the Holy Spirit guides the process and brings it to what the Lord wants for His church in this world.
A beautiful pastoral response and a reminder that I received from your brother bishops as well, asking all of the laity to pray for this process. Thank you so much, Archbishop.
Okay, thank you.